Hey friends, hey family, Nettie here. Welcome back. And if it's your first time, hello there, welcome. So, I'm looking a little chia pettish by the head, a little bit of a disheveled orientation going on. We got the look of the day is a little disheveled, but it is what it is. How you doing? How you mom and them doing? Hopefully everybody is fantastic. And apparently, as the siren would suggest, we have an important message. The siren only comes when it's well, they're all important, but the siren is significant. Um, yeah, like I was saying, hopefully y'all doing great. But I've been chilling, trying to recoup. I didn't yeah, I done went outside and got some people in, even with kids, and shouty need to recover. So this is like this is my recovery look. Anyway, the messages don't stop messaging whether you look disheveled or not. So here we are. Chilling. I'm gonna show y'all. Check me out. Check me out, my little boy. It's a man shirt. Anyways, it's one of my favorites. That's why I want y'all to see it. Cause y'all my favorites too. Anyway, today Spirit wants to talk about this alignment within yourself, this unity, this harmony within yourself. Um, what do you do? And this started with a question. What do you do whenever you do the thing that you feel to do intuitively, but the outcome seems or feels wrong? What do you do? Well, I'll tell you what we do most often. We often get down on ourselves like we are incapable of making decisions. But that's not at all the case. It is always going to be for your good that something happens, right? So there are choices that you can take and choices that you can make always that are going they're all going to work out for you, right? So often it depends on what is happening at the time, on how clearly you connect. But there is something that happens. First, you don't know all the answers, right? Because you still live in this human body and you still have a human aspect of you. We always talk about the largest part of you is spirit, but you're also navigating this human consciousness and awareness, all of that. You still have these very human components. So that means that you won't get it right all the time. You're not supposed to get it right all the time. And I say get it right very lightly because you're never getting it wrong. So it's still going to be right even when it's wrong, barring that it's nothing that's real, real crazy. It obviously has its limitations. Let us use some reason here. But have you ever felt strongly within, and I'm talking to those who have already made pretty good connection with themselves on this particular front. You are accustomed to hearing from spirit, and many of you are shifting even into this place where you're getting more comfortable with your internal voice, with your internal guidance system. And because you're getting more comfortable with it, you are making better connection and it has better resonance. You often, more often than not at this point, you understand the translation within. You understand this voice. You know what it's saying. You know the direction it's telling you to go. That does not mean that you cannot misinterpret, or not even misinterpret, because Spirit is saying that it's not a misinterpretation. The bigger picture is that sometimes it's not about the outcome, it is about the process. And because you have began to work and you've begun to shift into this alignment within yourself, you still need tests. Sometimes Spirit presents tests to you to help you to fine tune, to help you lock in with yourself. But we don't often see it that way. And we we get down on ourselves and we beat ourselves up about something that we were so like connected to, and we knew it was the right thing to do, but it turned out in a way that was different than what we had intended. It is perceived by us as wrong, but it's not. As long as you followed your internal guidance, it's right. Especially where it comes to this connection where you know that you're connected, right? You know, this is not for people who are uncertain, because that's going to be a different situation. But for those of you who are fairly certain that you have been making this connection as of late, even to the degree that it has surprised and delighted you in the process. You're like, oh my God, like I've been hearing all of this time. You're so excited. And it's like magic. It's wonderful, great, awesome, right? That don't mean that sometimes it's not gonna go different than you want it to go. Yes, you are a master manifester. Yes, you are the alchemist and creator of your life. You can create and manifest whatever you want, right? Yes, that is true. But in that process, it sometimes comes out, the outcome is much different than you planned for it. That does not mean that you've gotten it wrong. It does not mean that you have gotten it wrong. It just means that the process to getting to the place has a better route for you. You're rerouting. Just like, because your spirit guide, your internal guide, the highest version of you, is your internal navigation system. It operates very similarly to your navigation system on your phone or in your car. It's better than Google Maps and whatever navigation system you got in your car. It's the best, the ultimate in navigation, in GPS in this life. But very similarly, just like when you use your map and you begin to go in a way that the map is not telling you to go, it reroutes you. And that is still not to say in this particular instance that you are going the wrong way. You are taking another route to your destination. But the key part here is that you know the guidance. You know what Spirit told you to do. You did what Spirit told you to do. You envisioned what the outcome would be, and this ain't that. This ain't that. So you feel like you've gotten it wrong. You didn't get it wrong. You did what the guidance said to do. It just didn't go the way you thought it should. But also, Spirit didn't necessarily say that it would go exactly the way you thought it should. To any destination, there are several routes. Often, Spirit will tell you to take a route, but you don't necessarily know that it may not be the direct route. It may be taking you around and through and past some stuff that may take a little bit longer, but that does not necessarily mean that your desired outcome is not on the other side. But more importantly, Spirit is talking about this process because it is fine tuning your awareness and your helping you to develop within um, this alignment. So yes, that was the thing Spirit told you to do. You didn't have the full instructions. You just went with the thing the Spirit told you to do. And for that, you were better. The outcome is not as important as the listening. It is the listening that gets you to trusting your intuition, that gets you to feeling through what is taking place inside of you, this connection that's being made, how spirit is leading, what's being used, what senses are being used. Because so the other thing is, at the end of whatever this is that you're perceiving to have gone wrong, make sure that you are assessing it, and having spirit walk you through it. Because if you're not careful, it pulls you away instead of pushes you closer to the gift. Right? It is an absolute gift to be able to be in unison and in harmony with our internal guide. That is where we begin to know self trust and self love and self care. But more specifically, it increases our confidence within ourselves so we aren't doubting who we are in this life. You can either know who you are or you can believe that you are. Believing is different than knowing, but we are cultivating a knowing. Okay? So, that said, it's the process. It's the process because you have to know that you can make this connection. It's so interesting. One of the things that I do is trade, right? So, Spirit was telling me the other day that it is it's not for nothing that so many people are encouraged away from trading, or not necessarily encouraged away from trading, but encouraged away from trading intuitively is what I meant. And I was just like, that's interesting, because I have a process, but a very large component to my process is intuition. I will say in a heartbeat that I am an intuitive trader, and I work on being an intuitive trader. I use my intuition for everything. If it is my guide through life, I'm putting that shit to work everywhere. That's what it's meant for. It is meant for me to be guided by. So I'm putting it to work there. Um, but Spirit was saying the reason why people are so dissuaded away from intuitively trading, because they will fuck themselves up, and they'll fuck themselves up real good. Why? Because you haven't learned to be intuitive outside of trading. Why the hell would that change now that you're trading? It won't. So if you ain't been listening to your inner guide, and you haven't been in harmony and in alignment with your inner guide, it's not going it ain't gonna just spring out because you trying to trade intuitively. And I was like, that makes sense. That make a whole lot of sense, actually. So yeah. Bigger than that, though, on the other side of things, there's a reason why people discourage you from trusting your intuition altogether too. You know how much more powerful you are when your God voice is leading and guiding you through all of this life that it already knows. You know how much your confidence is built. You listen, do you know how powerful that makes you? I hope you do. And I hope that if you haven't, you actually begin to do the work to align yourself so that you can function in this way. And I'm not saying that it's necessary I'm listen, I really think it's necessary everywhere if I'm keeping it 100 with you. But nothing is going to take place outside of you that is not already taking place inside of you. So first, it's about the process of getting to know yourself, getting to know your internal guide. And when you do that, it improves upon every single thing. Every single thing. Nothing barred. Ask me how I know. But yeah, so there don't get down on yourself. There are many people, especially when we're first starting to cultivate this relationship and develop within this relationship, you get down on yourself because you did the thing that you thought was the right thing to do, but it didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. But no, it doesn't make it wrong that it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. You It's kind of like thinking with two minds until you get them aligned, right? You got to get them on one accord. When they're flowing in harmony, then you have the best, most accurate representation of you that's making the decisions, right? But until then, it's going to seem like, wait a minute, I'm thinking this thing, I'm thinking this thing. I can do this or I can do this. But just listen. Just pause. I promise you, all of the answers that you need to anything are on the inside of you. If you just pause and you wait and you listen, ask yourself questions. It sounds crazy. I know. But ask yourself questions. You know that okay, so they always say that everything that you have need of is inside of you. It's true. That's where that comes from. But we think of it as just a mere saying. We don't know how operative and functional that actually is, how real that actually is. Like, legit, all of them. It's just learning how to access them that we struggle with often, which is what causes us to mostly discount that as a real thing because we often discount things that we don't understand instead of trying to make an effort to really just understand them. But yeah, so Spirit is just saying in all of this that it's about the process. This is the thing that makes you better. And Spirit may have told you in your certainty, you know what you felt, but it's about the process. It's not about being right, it's about the process. So, as long as you do what your higher guidance has led you to do, you're going to be good. Your outcome is always going to work for it's going to always work for you. You can't get it wrong and you can't mess it up. You might reroute a couple times in the figuring and in the trying. And the thing is, we're always working on it. There's a human component. We're always working on it. And at any stage where it's the greatest it's ever been, it can always be better. You can always gain access to more. And that is what this ascension is about. You've grown. So now we get messages about growing pains. so to speak. Ascension symptoms. You think you're doing something wrong? You're not. You're just growing. And that is okay. It ain't gonna always look the way you want it to. Just because you're getting this alignment together, still, it still ain't gonna always be pretty. Sometimes the shit gonna be downright ugly. Okay? Let me warn you. It really will be. But it's okay. It's all gonna work out. If you can hold in your heart and in your mind that everything works out for you, or everything is already worked out for you, like right now, it's not in the future and it's not in the past. All we have is right here, right now. And as you ascend in all of these different timelines, it's all worked out. And the highest version of you is leading you along the way. The person that already got it together. So just trust that it's gonna be okay. This don't mean it's gonna be easier at first. But it all is always okay. And it all always is working out for you. So just keep that in your heart and keep that in your mind, and don't feel like you doing stuff wrong. And so this is the caveat Spirit wants me to say, because oof, often many people who are accustomed to religious ways make excuses for why they do what they do. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. When it's something that they are clearly not supposed to be doing. So, Spirit is saying it's not about doing the opposite thing that you know to do, and then saying, oh, Spirit was saying, or my highest self or highest guidance, and knowing that wasn't, because you know. Listen, let me tell you how you know. Because I told you the largest part of you is spirit, right? You know that feeling you get when you lie? It's just this little twinge in you. I don't give a damn if you've been lying and you the best liar. It's a little twinge in you that you get. It's this, right? It's that's telling you that ain't right. So there's no way. And the key is tapping into that and following that. It's that feeling when you know how you get into it with somebody and you in the wrong, and you know you in the wrong, and you get all that going on in there. That feeling. That that's your highest guidance saying, nah, big dog, that ain't the way. So yeah, it's always been there. We just ain't been listening to it. So we're not accustomed to listening. We just work against it more often than not. Or you know how you be doing something and you be like, you have a thought to do something and you do the opposite, right? And then you be like, dang, I should have did that. Something told me I should have went with my first mind. I had a feeling. It's that. It's that. It's always been there. Something did tell you. It was your higher self, your spirit's guide, your intuition, if you will, your seventh sense, if you will. It's always been there. You've never really been separated from it, but you never really have been tapped into it as well as you can. Anyways, anyways, that's the message. That's the message. The more you begin to listen to that guidance, tap into it, become one with it, run toward it instead of from it, the more your life begins to open up and you do shit and you surprise yourself. You will surprise yourself. And just like Spirit was saying in the last video that um this kind of builds on that for those people who've been working and they feel like, they followed their guidance but they got something wrong. You're more right than you're wrong. So Spirit is still saying that. Don't don't disconnect and dissociate yourself from the gift because you felt like you were following it and it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. It's only about finding more resonance within this connection. So anyway, take that with you. Don't crash out because it didn't turn out your way. Anyway, I leave you this message in love and in lights. Always, always, always only exist in this space and share love and share light. Until next time, toodles.